Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be finishing up building this shade canopy here. It has been reaching well over 90 degrees Fahrenheit here. So last night I started the project and filmed a little bit for you guys. It's a pretty simple conduit, EMT conduit trellis that I built, and I was looking around trying to see what the possibilities were for me, and I ended up landing on John Kohler's channel and saw that he built this, but instead I'm using a 3/4 of an inch rather than 1 inch, because the space here is only like 5.5 or 5 feet square, and it's about 7 feet tall. So let's take a look at what I did last night.
First thing I did was to get 3 of the concrete rebars into the ground, and usually you would do all 4 because there's 4 legs in a structure. However, I'll explain later why I'm doing it this way. But just getting them as deep into the ground as possible and just placing this the EMT conduits over them would keep them standing nice and strong. And then this last conduit, I decided to place it into this pot and bury it with some potting soil. And the reason I'm doing it this way is totally experimental, but I think it should work for my situation. Because there's pavement on the bottom, I could not get the concrete rebar into the ground, and that's why I'm just keeping this last one in the pot. And that really should do it, because this is a very small space I'm working with. It's also built between the house and the wall. So I got some potting mix in there and burying this in there, and the conduit, and I'll grow something in there. So yeah, this is a 3/4 of an inch conduit I'm working with. That should do it.
This is a 3-way connector for the EMT conduit. Here's the vertical down the pole like this, and connects the joints together.
After putting in all the conduits, they're now standing. It's time to build the frame on the top. And by doing that, I'm just inserting the conduits on the top here into these 3-way connectors. Since it got kind of late, I didn't want to wake up our neighbors, so I decided the next morning to continue. And what I'm doing right now is just to try to straighten everything up, tap it to get the conduit and the connectors all insert well, and then just tightening up that, I think you call them screws. So everything is nice and tight, held together very well. And I'm just going all around and do that to all 4 corners.
Now the final step is to put this Aluminet shade on the top here, and we'll be done. Hello, beautiful. Okay, cool. So I got this one. I think it's like a 6 feet by 10 feet. So some will just hang down and acts as a shade. Well, it's already a shade, but yeah. So you see how it goes through. So this is going to also reflect back to the plant, so I'm not completely shading it. And this is about 40 to 45% shade. Also come with about 10 of these to help tie these up. Let's get started.
Got these loosely tied first, just to
you know, get everything in place, and then I will come back and make it tighter fit. So that's just how I'm doing it. There's many ways to do it, I'm sure. Here's the finished product. It took me a few tries to figure out until I was actually happy with the way I was putting the canopy up. I kept rotating and rotating until this is how I like it now. And I love that you can, I guess the advantage of working with a much bigger cloth is that I could utilize this and kind of divide the space. I got the shade doubled here because of the leftover. And that's actually a great use for me because I have some more shade plants growing down here. This stuff is a mess right here, guys, right now, but this is acting as a storage place for me because I'm going to be out of town and I need a place to keep these plants happy and protected. So I got more shade stuff here growing, and then the stuff that, you know, the plants that like more sun are here. And I still need to figure out what exactly I want to put in this big pot, but this is the pot that I showed at the beginning of the video where I planted the last conduit here in there because I couldn't get it in the ground. So this is a really tight fit for everything, but it works. I also added these bars, and this one is actually just a 1/2 inch conduit, so I can get some stuff hanging. And this little tomato stake thing is just here to keep the canopy up because I doubled it. Oh boy, it's getting hot out here. I'm really happy with the canopy. Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty simple build, but for me the challenge was, well, I did have to modify a little bit of it. Like I mentioned, the last part where I actually planted the conduit, the 4th conduit into the big pot. And then another thing I forgot to take into account is that when I created this patio space sometime a while ago, I actually had it sloping down this way, so against the house is the higher. This is against the side's the house, and it's like it's higher. It's taller than this side. So when I was cutting the conduits to be 7 feet, you know, all 4 of them, it's actually incorrect because the difference was like, I think it's like this. How do I do it? This much difference in height. So yeah, so that made it more difficult to put in the last couple of conduits on the top, the frame there, because you know, this side versus this side, the 2 sides are not level. So yeah, that was a bit of that challenge for me. But anyway, this is a very tight space here. It's only 5.5 or something like that square feet here. So it's a very small space. It should be sturdy enough since this is kind of like an alleyway anyway. We got the wall here and the house on the other side. So I think this will totally do this, like this job will totally do for our space, would be safe. If you guys have any suggestions for me, that's always welcomed, and for me and my viewers to learn. So leave your comments down below, or you have questions or anything you want to tell me in general. I always love hearing from you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys find this video helpful. If any of you are thinking of building a shade canopy for your plants. It's getting more hot out here, and it is, you know, once it goes about like 90 degrees Fahrenheit or something, the plant starts to kind of stress out, and they won't produce as fast, or they won't produce as well anymore. So a little bit of shade really do help them that way. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you guys find this video helpful, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos to come. And if you are looking for more plants for your garden, I would love for your support to check out my website at wendyland.com. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook, where I do more constant updates of my life and things going on. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you right back here in the next one. Thanks guys. Stay cool and hydrated. Bye.